We're all going to have these adversities, but what's your focus? Are you focused on the problem? Are you focused on the solution? I hope we all understand that through this journey of life, through this journey of getting you to where you want to be financially, success in your relationships, in your health, and all the areas you're trying to grow, there's going to be adversity. There's going to be obstacles. The question is, again, what do we do? What do we do when those times come? What do we do? And so again, you get a chance to hear the people that think in this way when it comes to overcoming adversities or challenges in their life, how someone thinks. If you can adapt how someone thinks, you can get their results. How do some people go through some of the worst things in life, yet still have faith and still have hope and can still smile and still go through it properly? Why? Because of how they think about it, their mindset around it. Right? So the good old saying, it's not what happens to life doesn't happen to you, life happens for you. Life happens for you. So all the things that are happening in your life are happening for you to get to the highest, grandest vision of your life, to push your life in the direction that you want it to go. And here's what it says in our text in 177 Mental Toughness Secrets, number 92 says, the world class catapults their consciousness by overcoming obstacles. By overcoming obstacles. This is a part of the journey, ladies and gentlemen. It says here, while the masses see obstacles as their primary adversary, champions view them as opportunities to expand their level of thinking and competence. Professional performers know the only way they can truly become mentally tough enough to manifest their vision is to struggle and fight their way through obstacles. There's no other way. The great ones are conscious of the fact that success is trial by fire. The middle class consciousness avoids obstacles at all costs and looks for the easy way out. The world class builds their own roads and forges ahead, knowing the strength of character gained from overcoming obstacle after obstacle will be the measure of their true success. And with that rock solid character, the greater things can be accomplished. Even greater things can be accomplished. If you remove the obstacle, you remove the opportunity to grow. Say that one again. If you remove the obstacles, you remove the opportunity to grow. The world class becomes great by overcoming more obstacles than the middle class. They get tough because they're in the game, getting hit and taking shots. Professional performers are good at overcoming obstacles because they're always engaged in this process. Amateurs spend so little time staring down the dragon that they simply never get tough enough to become pros. The fear of failure looms deep in the psyche of the masses. The great ones are sometimes fearful, yet develop more courage with each new obstacle until they stand up one day as a true mental warrior. This is how you get through, ladies and gentlemen, those obstacles that you have in your life, in your life, the challenges you have right now, the things that you're going through in life are the things that are growing you to become the person you asked to be. So we can't avoid obstacles. You can't avoid the challenges. If something continues to pop up in your life, if you have a reoccurring challenge or a reoccurring obstacle, it's probably because God is testing you on that level and you need to learn some things before that obstacle is removed from your life. If the same thing keeps popping up, then you haven't learned how to overcome that obstacle. You haven't learned how to mentally get through it or what resources you need to get through it. So that thing is going to continue to pop up. But every time you have that obstacle, that's an opportunity to grow. Every time you get a new obstacle, that's an opportunity to grow. Anytime other things, other adversities get thrown in your way, that's your opportunity to grow into the person that God called you to be. That's it. It's overcoming obstacles. We're always going to get hit with this, but you have to reframe it. You have to think about it differently. You have to know that every time you have an obstacle, it builds your character. That's what it says in here, right? It builds your character. These are character building things. In order for you to design the life you want, because that's what we're all here to do. We're all here to design the life that we want. Wealth, health, happiness, great relationships, feeling good every day. Like that's what we want. So in order to have the capacity to handle the life that you want, you have to grow character. Your character has to grow. The way that we grow our character is by going through these obstacles, going through these challenges, facing them head on, going through it with the right mindset, failing forward, going through an obstacle and then it not turning out the way that you wanted to, but then learning from it. Learning from it. Ray Dalio says, pain plus reflection equals progress. Pain plus reflection equals progress. So if you go through some form of pain, how much do you reflect on it? What did I learn? How can I avoid this next time? What do I do the next time this comes up? What can I reflect on to learn from that pain? And that is what equals progress. That's what allows you to progress through the levels of life. And Tony Robbins says progress equals happiness. Progress equals happiness. So if pain plus reflection equals progress and progress equals happiness, then you have to go through some pain. You have to go through some obstacles. You just have to learn to reflect on them, get the lessons, see how this is growing your character, and stay engaged in the process. Stay engaged in the process. So it says down here, it says professional performers are good at overcoming obstacles because they are always engaged in this process, right? You're always engaged in overcoming obstacles. You're always engaged in something popping up. I was talking to my therapist about this, and he asked me a question about work-life balance because he hears like all the stuff that I do. And he asked, is there ever a good time to schedule in conflict? And I was like, I don't need to schedule in conflict because I always have something happening in my life that's a form of conflict, that's an obstacle, that's a challenge. Like I don't need to schedule it in because it just happens naturally every single day. I'm comfortable in the place knowing that every day there's going to be a challenge or an obstacle or right a disagreement or a counseling session or coaching something. Like there's always going to be that in my everyday. So I know that's going to happen. But that's why, again, it says here, professional performers are good at overcoming obstacles because you're always engaged in it. You're always overcoming an obstacle. There's always a challenge. Life is never just smooth sailing. But the more that you can build your capacity to overcome daily obstacles, daily challenges, they don't become challenges anymore. They just become a part of your normal life. It just becomes a part of how you operate. The fact that you're constantly building your character, that you expect these things to happen when you're going after a life that you're designing, right? In all honesty, guys, most people don't know a person that lives the life that they want to live, that lives the life where they kick back and they live on the beach and they don't work and passive income comes in and money's not a stress and they have everything exactly where they want it in life. Like most people don't know somebody that lives that life, but if that's the life that you choose to go after, then you got to overcome more obstacles than the average person. In order to live that life, you're going to have to overcome some real obstacles and some real challenges. That's why you got to go through it in the right mindset, ladies and gentlemen. That's it. You got to go through it in the right mindset. Don't wish it were easier, wish you were better. That's an old Jim Rohn quote. Don't wish it were easier, wish you were better. Don't wish your life were easier. Don't wish you had less obstacles. Don't wish you had less challenges. Because those things are turning you into the great, right? The character, the person, the great character that you need in order to be the person you want to be. That's what it's turning you into. So you got to embrace the obstacles, embrace them, embrace the challenges, embrace knowing that you're going to stay engaged in the process. Don't spend time in the fear and worry and what if I could get rid of these things. Eric Thomas in there said, execute in the midst of adversity. Execute in the midst of adversity. No matter what's happening around you, you still have to execute. You still have a goal. You still have dreams. You still have a business plan. You still have things you wanted to accomplish by the end of April. You had things you wanted to accomplish by the summer. You had something in your health journey that you wanted to accomplish by the summer. You have a financial goal that you're trying to hit by the end of the year. You have things that you want to do and you want to make happen. So you got to execute in the midst of the adversity. The adversity is going to pop up. Your job is to execute in it. Your job is to continue to push yourself in it. Here's what it says in this quote. It says, the block of granite, which was an obstacle in the path of the weak, becomes a stepping stone in the path of the strong. When you are pushing yourself down that process of again, obtaining the life that you want. Anything that comes in your way is just a stepping stone. That next obstacle that you see, as soon as we get off this call, you get that phone call or you have a random challenge at work or some other obstacle, just know this is what you asked for. This is building you to the person that you need to be. Always ask God to show you what you're trying to learn. Hey, what are you teaching me with this one? What is it that I need to learn? What is it that I need to, right? Where's the test? What are you testing me on? And as long as you have that mindset and you're able to have that thought process, you'll get through all the obstacles and challenges in your life. Action step for today says make a list of the 3 biggest obstacles you currently face. So do that, guys. Make a list of the 3 biggest obstacles you currently face. It says next, determine the worst thing that could possibly happen if you decided to mount an all-out assault to overcome them. Right? If you just were like, no matter what, I'm gonna do this. Well, what's the worst thing that could happen if you chose to take on those 3 obstacles? It says if you can live with the worst case scenario, then suspend your fear and attack your obstacles as if it's impossible to fail. If you succeed, your self-confidence will soar. If you fail, you'll live to fight another day. That's what you do in order to overcome obstacles. You have to just attack them. You just got to go head on. What's the worst that can happen? And if you're okay with the worst case scenario happening, then suspend the fear. Be like, all right, forget this. I'm just going to go after it. And you challenge that obstacle. When you succeed, when you get over that obstacle, the benefits on the back end is that your self-confidence rises. You have more courage. You believe you can do it more. You know that you've been battle tested. You know that you've done this and you've gone through this process. You overcame it. So the next one that comes, you're going to be, I can do that. I just overcame this last one. Of course I can do this one. And now when you start believing that for yourself, life creates a whole nother meaning because now you can just overcome anything. Now every obstacle, you're like, bring them on, right? Bring the obstacles my way. Let me overcome these. Because now I'm building that self-confidence. I see this comment in here saying, clarified something, recently told your daughter that I've been making lemonade out of lemons all my life now, put it into perspective. So I'm glad that got into perspective for you, right? These lemons are going to constantly be in our life, but how we think about them, knowing that that's building you to be the person. You weren't necessarily made to, right, be a lemonade maker, so to speak, right? But you can take those lemons and understand that builds you into the person that you're supposed to be, that you're called to be, right? Carla, the quote is, don't wish it were easier, wish you were better. Don't wish it were easier, wish you were better. So don't wish your life was easier. Don't wish this circumstance were easier. Wish you were better. Can I handle more? God, give me the capacity to handle more, to do more, to be able to process more, to have more time, right? Like those are the things we got to get better in these areas. And if we can get better in these areas, good things can happen. Good things can happen. Because again, we control our life. The things you can control, your actions and your attitude. We've talked about it before, your actions and your attitude. So make sure that you are actively paying attention to those things. Keep these types of conversations in mind, where you understand that obstacles that are presented to you, we have to look at them in a better lens. We have to look at them by saying, you know what? I'm still going to be able to get through this. This is just creating a little bit more character in me. And I'm going to, overcome this challenge. And you got to continue to see it as such. If you go into it with a negative mindset, woe is me. I can't believe this is happening to me. Why me? Man, I hate this. If that's the way we look at it, it's going to be real tough to get through it. But if you can see that it's just a stepping stone for you getting to where you got to be, it's going to really bless your life. Things are going to change. The action step, like it said, make the list of these 3 biggest obstacles you face, determine what's the worst case scenario, and then just go after it, ladies and gentlemen. Go after it. No fear of failure. Quiet that fear. Quiet that fear. Quiet that voice in your ear that's telling you that you can't do something, or that it's too scary, or that you don't have all the resources, or you don't have all the education, or you don't have all the money, or you don't know how you're going to get it. Quiet that voice of fear and let the other side speak louder, the one that gives you abundance, the one that gives you hope, the one that pushes you into the right direction. We all have both of those things talking to us. You got to learn how to quiet the fearful side and talk and listen to more of the positive, more of the optimistic, more of the hopeful side, the one that thinks and allows you to think. That's the side you want to listen to. Because it's too crowded down here at the bottom, ladies and gentlemen. It's time to get to the top of this thing. I love you guys. I want y'all to win. You deserve to win. Your families deserve to win. All this information that you're getting, all this mindset stuff, go apply it. Go share it with somebody. Again, get somebody on this call if they need to hear it every Monday, Wednesday, Friday. We're coming in because we want to make sure people are getting the information that they need, the mindset things that they need in order to take their lives to where they need it to go. You guys get it first. Proud of you for continuing to show up and take in the information. Now share it with a few other people. Go out there this weekend, do something that challenges you, do something that scares you, do something that pushes you out of your comfort zone, get a little bit more uncomfortable this weekend. Don't sit in the same routine you were in last weekend. Do something that pushes you, and your future self is going to thank you for it.